Hello, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to, in all of the little nooks and crannies, you're going to paint that black. The reason you want to paint that black is because it's going to show depth when you paint over it with green. The next thing we want to do is we want to look up a reference of the Yoshi. And there are many colors, so choose whatever color you like the best. This Yoshi, true to what we've been using, this is a reference we've been using, we're going to make it like the original color, which is green, red, that orange, and yellow. And I've separated all those colors. Oh, and of course white along the belly, and that goes all the way to the tail, and you can see that. So that's what I'm going to do next actually, is I'm going to draw that line. I already started drawing it around the head, but I'm going to draw it in pencil because that dark mark around the head that I have, it's too dark. So I'm going to draw a line with pencil along the belly where the white should be. So I've drawn that line all the way to the tail, and that's just going to indicate where that white is going to start. So when I start painting green, I know not to go too far beyond that. Now all this black is there, that's, you know, don't worry about that. We're gonna fix it up. This is just kind of as a guide. And of course this is the one I had before. It's a little too thick, but that's okay because we're going to paint over it as well. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the green. And I'm going to paint the green pretty much everywhere that you see in the reference. Let's go ahead and take a look at that again. So I'll paint the green, and then I'll paint the red, and then I'll paint the white, and then I'll paint the shoes. So right now I'm going to do the green pretty much everywhere except in those areas that you see that aren't green. And I'm going to try to be careful not to go into the white areas like I just discussed. Now you see these nostrils right here? I am going to just paint right over them, and then later on I'll get black and I'll bring them back with some black. And I'm not going to worry, like I said, I'm not going to worry too much about covering that line because first of all it's too thick, and then I'm going to come back with the white and kind of redefine that. There really shouldn't even be a line there. Same thing with the line around the eyes. And this is the green I'm using. If you're not in my class, you know, just find like a sap green, but they come in so many different colors that it doesn't really matter. So yeah. Please remember, when you're getting paint, get less than you think you need. Right? Let's try to preserve the paint. It's always easier to pour more, but you can't put it back in the bottle. So I don't want a bunch of paint just drying out, going to waste. So get less than you think you need. And we are probably going to have to do more than one layer, which is common. So multiple layers will probably be necessary. So I colored all the areas green that I think should be green. I left the belly white. Now I am going to start coloring the other things. I want to leave the white for one of the last things, so I'll probably do the shell. And I'm going to do these, I don't know what they're called. And I'm going to make those red. Oh, I am going to add another layer of green though. This is one layer, and I don't think it looks bad, but I am going to add one more. And I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do 2 layers of these as well. So I started adding the red. Now the red is very transparent. I did that second layer of green as well. The red is very transparent, so you might have to add more than one layer. So you can see that in this dark area, for instance, that's where some of the green had gotten before here as well. Now I don't think it looks that bad. It just has like a bit of a dirty look, and you could probably get away with it, but I am going to add a few more layers. It might not go away completely, but it'll help. Definitely on this side, because the cardboard, what was on the cardboard is still coming through. So I'm thinking maybe 3 to 4 layers for the red. And then the white is going to be the same because the white is very transparent. So it's going to have to be probably a few layers for the white, and definitely probably the shoes as well. So I added the green, and I added a few layers of red, and I think I've done enough to cover up those areas that we discussed. It ended up being more than 4 layers. If you have the same problem, I recommend just adding enough so that you don't really see anything. Now the white that we have, it is very runny, and you're probably going to have to do way more than 4 layers. I think we have 2 different types. I'll try to give you the type that's a little bit stronger. But the type that I have here at home, it's very runny. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the white. And of course I've had to touch up here and there, like where I accidentally put red back on the head and etc, etc. So now I'm going to do the white all along the belly and along the, actually let me check what the rim is there. I think it's white. So the rim of the shell is white. So I'm gonna make that white. So all the white areas now. And I'm gonna cover the eye as well. So I'm thinking right now that I'm gonna cover, even though I drew it in, I drew in the eye with permanent marker, but that doesn't mean that I want you to do that. I just did that because again, I just wanted to see how it would look more or less when it was closer to being finished. So I think I'm just gonna make this white and then paper mache an eye, like draw an eye separately and color it separately and paper mache it and attach it that way. Hopefully that'll make it really clean, because it's also very difficult to get in that tight space. Oh, last thing is you might want to use, if you have it, you might want to use a thinner brush or a smaller brush to get into little details like the eyes and stuff. Alright, the white is painted. Now admittedly that white was a little bit difficult. It kept cracking and I had to paint in between the cracks, and I might still have to paint even more, but I'd say maybe 4 layers before I started seeing the cracks diminish a little bit more. So all of the cracks were all along the belly, and yeah, so I just had to paint it and paint it right into the crack. See, right around here is still forming some cracks, so I still have to work on that. But next I'm gonna work on the shoes. So the shoes are gonna be done, I think, primarily with an orange. I think let's go ahead and check. I think I'm gonna mix that orange a little bit with this, I think, burnt sienna. But I'm gonna check the color. I think that the orange and the burnt sienna will work. So it's kind of that, yeah, brownish orange color, and that's what I'm going for the feet. And then for the bottom, I have a pure yellow that I'm gonna use for the bottom. Alright, I think this is finally at a point. So I painted the bottom with the yellow, but I mixed it with a little bit of burnt sienna as well. I believe that's cadmium yellow light. Let me double check. Yeah, that's actually cadmium yellow and burnt sienna. And of course it's more yellow than the burnt sienna for the very bottom. And I left that black there just to show that there is a separation. So that's there to show that there is a separation between the shoe and the bottom. Don't know what that's called. The bottom of the shoe. The sole, I don't know what it is. And it's a great result. Now the last step is to put in some details like the nostrils and the eyes. For that I actually drew out this eye, and I'm gonna draw another one, and I'm gonna cut them out and I'm gonna paper mache them. I think that would be the best way to do the eyes without, you know, getting too complicated with a tiny brush and going in there. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will call this project finished. Alright, the eyes are on. I think that idea worked out great. And this project is done. I think it turned out pretty well. I'll see you in class. I almost forgot to add the nose. So just put 2 little dots for the nose, and now it's really done.